Winning is already hard enough in esports, but consistently winning elevates you to another level. After winning the 2024 World Finals and now 2025's Brawl Cup, Humble are the undisputed best in the globe. For the first time ever, the same roster has won back-to-back LAN events in the BSC. The only player to ever do it was hisotric, winning the 2021 World Final and the 2022 MSI. If you exclude MSI, then Tensai and hisotric, of course, won back-to-back World Championships, which is the ultimate flex. These players will be Hall of Famers in Brawl Stars, but it's been 3 years since anything like this has been achieved. Well, at least until Humble did it. By the end of the 2024 regular season, Humble were the #1 seed from EMEA. Lukey, Boss, Semantic, and Coach Kanan were seen as a team in the mix to win the World Finals, but not the unanimous top dog they are now. Their postseason performance was one of, if not the most convincing in Brawl Stars history. Humble won all of their matches, which may be obvious since they're the champs, but they didn't just win. They went mostly unchallenged. They had a World Finals set score of 13-2, which is mind-boggling considering this event had the top 12 teams on the planet. Their Grand Finals performance even included a 3-0 stomping. Remember those two Hall of Famers I was talking about?
Lucas will be cautious there, just evading it. These magic puffs healing will be quite crucial. Hypercharge for Boss going in. Moya's in trouble. The gems are down and hisotric is low. He's eradicated. Humble collect all the goods.
Tensai just gets brought down by some of that squeak damage. Another hand to catch the turret that might actually be intentional, believe it or not. hisotric moves up, hits that super. Lukey goes down. 2 seconds left, and Humble keeps Semantic alive. Get down, Mr. President.
Left-hand side, Laurie going over the fence and does find a kill. But again, Boss is there. 528 HP, but he's still locked in.
How's he alive? Lukey tops him back up, but Humble had to get off of the point for a time. With Semantic's back, and he means business. Tensai face shifts forward, but Boss is able to bring him down. Hypercharge available for 2 Humble players, and Crazy Raccoon are about to run into the wood chipper. They want to try and pressure Crazy Raccoon down before they think to come forward. Mark on hisotric, Tensai able to star power. Scrappy's hitting hard, 49%, it's getting low. Moya in a present. Ah! There it is!
Semantic!
3 seconds!
He's got it!
It's even at 67 apiece.
A nice takedown there from Boss, and he kept his own life in the process. Not an easy thing to do there, as Semantic was low himself and couldn't necessarily tank. Good taps to the left-hand side. Moya low now, forcing out the ego, but the ego goes down so quickly. Great mark again from Lukey, popping the hypercharge, and they secure the right side of Tensai.
Here we go.
Semantic going in, nice hypercharge, and some great damage along the way. The time is ticking.
11 seconds left in the game. hisotric has to go for a super to dodge the shot, but Boss is gonna be there at Tensai with a hyper. No turret to use. Humble, 50%. Crazy Raccoon have fallen short. And here we have 3 Humble guys who just happened to be the best Brawl Stars team in the world.
Humble walked through 2-time champion Tensai, world champion hisotric, and Moya Goku, who had been to the finals twice. It's hard to believe, but their biggest obstacle of the entire tournament was their very first match, where they beat Rival Esports 2-1. These guys have been unstoppable no matter who their opponent has been. However, some poked holes at Humble's run. While they ultimately beat Crazy Raccoon, to get there they beat Rival Esports, the #2 seed in APAC, Eternal Fire, the #5 seed in EMEA, Pioneers, the #2 seed in NA, and Rival SK Gaming, the #3 seed of EMEA. They only beat one #1 seed in their World Finals run, but now that the Brawl Cup is over, that argument's dead. Humble's second BSC LAN victory was at the Brawl Cup, a mid-season tournament where top teams from every region competed for World Finals and LCQ slots for the playoffs. Humble entered as the #2 seed from EMEA, and like the World Finals, they were unchallenged in their road to victory. They beat Toxic Lotus, the #1 seed from Chinese mainland, Loud, the #1 seed from South America, Zeta Division, #1 seed from East Asia, and finally SK Gaming, #1 seed from EMEA. They beat all 4 of their opponents, and 3 of them got top 4 results in the entire event. Even Toxic Lotus, a major dark horse, turned out to be quite the team. Despite facing all regional #1 seeds in their run, Humble had a Brawl Cup set score of 12-2, with no matches going to a 5th set. This means that their combined set score at the 2024 World Finals and 2025 Brawl Cup was 25-4, an unfathomable accomplishment. The only thing lacking from Humble's resume is the online performances. In the past 8 EMEA monthly finals, they have 1 Grand Finals win and a pile of second place finishes, but I'm sure they'd take that trade all day to keep winning the LAN events. This year, Humble haven't won an EMEA monthly finals yet, but they've gotten second twice. Both times they lost to SK Gaming, who Humble beat in the Brawl Cup Grand Finals 3-1. I think if anything, this just goes to show how tough of a region EMEA is. As a whole, it just seems to be a step ahead of everybody else. Clearly, Humble are having the best results in the world, so why? In professional Brawl Stars, mechanics and drafting are everything. I think many pro players would would agree that the draft is a large part of winning due to the advantage a better draft can give a team in a professional setting. When everybody is so cracked at the game, you need whatever edge you can get on the battlefield, and that starts with the draft. Especially at LAN tournaments where the setting is even for both teams, having a winning draft can make a huge difference. There are some teams that can get away with losing drafts due to their mechanics, and a team like Zeta Division comes to mind. In one of the best matches of the year, SK Gaming beat Zeta Division 3-2, but Zeta lost the draft in many pros' eyes across every set. Yet, they found themselves in a match point scenario. Some teams are just that skilled to where they can still give themselves a chance with weaker drafts. It starts with a solid foundation of mechanics, which Humble has, but I think Humble's consistency stems from their drafting department, with Coach Kanan being a major component to the team's success. Let's look at one of Humble's winning and wild sets from the Brawl Cup. Let's start with the band stage. Humble have the first pick, so their goal is to try and ensure the best matchups possible for their first overall selection. I'm guessing they had a couple starting lines in mind. Finks was one of the most played brawlers the entire weekend, is a popular one for Humble, but based on the bans from Humble, I think they clearly wanted Hank. I actually had the unique opportunity to talk with Semantic right before the event about draft strategy, and I asked him a lot of questions about Hank specifically because I assumed he'd be a popular pick. Especially in Hot Zone, he mentioned that B and Lou were the top counters, so removing those plus Draco, who's a frequent tank pick, into Hank at a professional level just made too much sense for me on broadcast. With all this in mind, this was a surefire Hank pick the whole way. 3 of Hank's counters are now out of the picture, so SK Gaming are gonna have to dive a little bit deeper into their brawler arsenal to try and deal with him. On the 2-3 turn, they elected to go with Griff and Frank, so I think it's pretty clear at this point that SK Gaming are trying to blow open the map to make it more difficult on Hank. Between Frank's destructive super and Griff's piggy bank gadget, they wanted to take away all the walls that would benefit Hank. At the 4-5 turn, Humble had to react, and their 4th selection is Barry, their support brawler of choice. In the early game, I think having a thrower is beneficial to gain control. Obviously, Barry can heal the teammates, and on top of that, before all the walls come down, it makes it a little bit easier for Humble to take over. Even if SK blew open the entire map, Barry's range kind of contests with what Frank and Griff deliver, so I think it's totally fine in this spot. Plus, I think this is a moment where you're just trusting your mechanics. Lukey played phenomenally on Barry throughout this entire set, as you all will soon see. Now for pick 5, this is just diabolical. Clancy, a very underused brawler in 2025 pro play, somehow got clicked in the grand finals of the biggest tournament of the year, and I love it. Clancy is seemingly a bad brawler. His tier 1 is terrible. He's slow, fires a tiny bullet, and does minimal damage. He's outranged by a ton of brawlers and can get erased in the early game. So what did Humble see in Clancy? Where Clancy shines is his tier 3 and final stage. He gets his super fast, dishes out 4 projectiles with a wide range, and once he cycles in that super, he can be lethal. In this instance, Griff and Frank don't outrange him. They're actually pretty similar. Clancy basically gets free supercharge now, and Frank is just a sponge. If Frank gets too close to him, then Clancy can just explode with the super, and if he stands in the same lane as Clancy, well, Clancy's gonna get those free tiers, and at tier 1 he's bad, but as he gets those free shots, tier 2 and tier 3 get a lot scarier. All of this combines for a perfect storm, and SK Gaming's 6th pick in Barley just isn't enough of an answer. Oh, and if you're worried at all about Humble's mechanics, I think this is a pretty good demonstration that these fellas can play.
Look at that, he only needed 1 shot to take it down. Wow! In close range, 1, 2! The support assassin has put Humble back at mid.
Opay relying on this 3-pronged wall in the middle, now an herbal tonic on the ground. Yashi trying to heal him up, Semantic, hypercharge, receiving damage, Lukey there to heal, and now the hypercharge clicks. Semantic homing missiles in, forcing the team back, Joker clicking one of his own, Boss dueling, Lukey looking to get over on the other end to get a little control. There he goes, diving again! This time a stun goes through, Opay will win that right here!
A brief distraction, Semantic, and a throw wide! What a torpedo! The super to keep him alive and get the point back. Pressure established. Yoshi and Joker attempting once more for the push in, and Boss is ready with a deadly hypercharge and super combo. It's time for SK to act, but do they have any moves? Checkmate! Humble! No possible moves for SK, and set 3 stowed away.
In the second half of the 2025 season, Humble should remain favorites to win Worlds unless they just absolutely collapse. Even if they don't run away with a bunch of monthly finals wins, I'm not gonna worry about their postseason hopes too much. They've done it twice now, and I see no reason why they wouldn't be able to make a run a 3rd time.
Curveball gadget, not enough. The fog closing in, Semantic running it down, and the rebellion ends here. The kings of EMEA were able to win the Civil War, but they are no match for conquerors of the globe.
There are other teams in the world that I believe could compete with them, but nonetheless, their current run is one of the best in Brawl Esports history. I look forward to seeing how far they can extend their run this postseason. Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it this far, I'd really appreciate if you dropped a like on the video, and if you find yourself coming back on the regular, subscribing to the channel would be a huge help. With that being said, we'll see you all in the next one.